Good morning, my name is Chris Fox, and today we're talking about launching my new archaeological thriller and how it's going. And the short version is not as well as I'd like. The book market has changed quite a lot since I was last regularly releasing. I knew it would be more crowded with the advent of AI. There are quite a few authors who are only using AI. I saw the recent scandal of an author, a romance author, who left her prompts in the book, which way to arm your audience with the means of making you obsolete. And that has really crowded the marketplace. The book's doing okay. It reached about 4,000 in the store, which is not bad at all. It got into the top 10 in its categories, which is great, and it's still kind of hovering there. And that was with very little ad spend. It was mostly me just promoting it on social media, and I have a list of about 12,000 people who would be interested in this sort of thing, and I sent it out to them. But it's a cold list. These are people who signed up between like 2016 and 2020 primarily. So you're getting an email out of the blue 5 years later. So not many of the sales came from that list. What really helped is Facebook. I tried running some Reddit ads. I tried running some Facebook ads. I've tried running some Amazon ads. Amazon ads are having a hard time getting traction, which is not a good sign. If your cover is amazing, like it is with My Melville Tech Mage, then Amazon loves it and it tends to do really well. It's much easier for me to push a science fiction book. But with thrillers, there's a lot more, I think, word of mouth. Looking at the covers, they're very disparate. So I don't think that's the factor that it is in this genre. And mine's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. But where I did find success was Facebook, because I can granularly target the people who are into the theories that I have. So ancient civilizations, the idea of a lost city like Atlantis having been part of a civilization, and that being a real thing. A lot of people out there believe that and are looking for media along those lines. So that did pretty well, but I found out the hard way. 99 cents, they were clicking all day long, and it was selling like hotcakes. And my cost per click is 4 cents a click, which is great. I get about 32 cents a copy. If I can sell a book in 8 clicks, that's break even. But as you can imagine, I'm not making a ton of profit, and you also cannibalize your Kindle Unlimited sales. So instead of getting page reads, which are going to pay me more money, I'm just getting that 32-cent sticker price for my 99-cent purchase. And that's okay, especially for a book one. You're really trying to capture that rank and get people to pre-order the second book and get them invested in the series. But when I turned it to $2.99, and I did this for one day for about 9 or 10 hours, sales just stopped. All the Facebook sales just stopped. Like, they were no longer coming in. I was getting like many of them an hour, and all of a sudden the change from 99 to 2.99, people are like, too rich for my blood. So people are willing to take a chance on a book at 99 cents with Facebook, but we're not willing to do so at 2.99. So I'm kind of back to the drawing board. I'm looking at other avenues. Influencer marketing is a good way to go. I get approached all the time, even though my channel is more or less dead compared to what it used to be, who want me to highlight their products, and some of them have no relevancy to the channel at all. I found a bunch of channels that I do have relevancy to. They talk about ancient civilizations and might be willing to promote my book in exchange for a fee, and that could have some traction. I'm going to wait to do that until the audiobook is out and until I have books 2 and 3 out. Then you've got a larger offering. I can make more money. So reluctantly, I'm dialing down the ad spend a bit. I'm only spending like $30 or $40 a day and seeing what I can do, get scrappy, get some reviews, get my audience to see it who haven't seen me in a while, and start building a new list. But so far, it's not doing the numbers I would want to see. It's much, much harder than when I've released certain previous series in the past. So it's been hit or miss. I've released some series and they feel like you're flying, and I've released other series that are pushing a boulder uphill. And this is somewhere in the middle. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. I don't have too many complaints in that regard. I'd love for it to be more successful, but I have realistic expectations. So I'll dial down the money that I put into it. It's very little investment. I'll get out books 2 and 3, raise the prices. And then once the audiobooks are out as well, I'll start more aggressive advertising and see what's what. In the meantime, I'll probably pivot a little bit. I have a nonfiction book that'll be coming out this year called Time to Action, which is a motivational and time management book. And I also have a few other irons in the fire, including some Kickstarters for role-playing games. I'm tending to think those might be more profitable than books. Can I make a living as a self-published author if I were to confine myself to that space? Sure. But is it the easiest way to make a living? No, not so much. And that's one of the reasons why this channel has shifted a little bit more towards motivation and less towards talking about books. It is a brutal marketplace. And if you're getting into it, Most influencers are going to want to sell you something, so they're going to tell you, hey, this is amazing and you can do it too. It's not. It's not amazing. It is brutal, absolutely brutal at every level. You have to work your ass off to make good money. And if you're making good money, it's usually because you're writing to market. And if you have the chops to do the same stuff over and over, where you could write a 17-book series in, say, military science fiction, more power to you. I can't. I can do about 3 to 6, and then I'm like, I want to write something else. And that is the absolute worst thing you can do in our space. If you were an author, you really want to double down on your genre, and I have not been doing so. So I'm having to kind of face some hard realities, and I am willing to share on this channel what direction I end up going and what is working for me in the future. I don't know that it's going to be book sales. I know some people are tremendously successful. The money's out there. There's gold in them, their hills. But it's sub 1% of the authors that are working today. The vast majority of people are not making a huge amount of money. And me even being in that 1%, at least still in audio is changing with Audible, and their rates are radically different. And overall, it sounds like we're probably going to be making less money than we used to. So I don't know. I don't know where the industry is going. I do know that I'm going to keep releasing books because I enjoy it, but I have to diversify my income. I cannot stick with just self-publishing. So that's kind of the long and short of it. I had considered sharing my screen and showing you guys a little bit, but I don't think there's anything to be gleaned from that. For my Facebook audience, I'll flash up a little bit of the ads that I'm using so you can kind of see the images that are working. That's why they're selling. I got an image that I absolutely knew beyond a shadow of a doubt would get people's attention. If you are interested in ancient history and I flash up the Pyramid of Khafre, which is very recognizable, everybody in the world will recognize it as one of the great pyramids in Egypt, even if they can't tell you which one. And then right next to it is the Sphinx. And then I've got the hand, as you can see, with the astrolabe from my series on it. That's enough to get people to be interested in it. That's the one that is really selling and getting people to check on it. And the cost per click of 4 cents, that's definitely good news. Mostly I'm able to get, 20 to 25 cents for good ads. So getting 4 or 5 cents is amazing. That does say there's some potential and I should be able to keep selling books. But my experience with Facebook in the past is that's not scalable. You can't just set an ad on Facebook for 6 months to a year and hope that it'll still be productive. It's going to ramp down day by day, week by week, month by month, and get less and less effective over time, in my experience. There are a few exceptions to that, but not many. Like my nonfiction stuff always does really well. Amazon, on the other hand, you can set it and forget it. Once you've kind of found the ad that works, I have stuff running from 2016. Some of my ads are so old they can't track the metrics for them anymore because that old advertising system no longer exists from when I first started advertising books. So you can really kind of go the distance and utilize keywords intelligently. And I haven't done enough of that yet on the books. I will probably, if I find some success on those Amazon ads, do a follow-up video maybe about kind of what I'm trying to experiment with. But the long and short of it is I'm going to try every keyword under the sun that I think might be relevant to my genres and see who I can find. And I've done this for other genres and it's been tremendously successful. I've also found that audio sales are still easier. So audio is a less crowded marketplace, even with AI voices. So I still do pretty well there, especially with my omnibuses. So if I can quickly finish the series with Mitch and my archaeological thrillers and get up to 6 to 9 books, then I can release an audio box set to answer questions for anybody who has questions. Yes, I am definitely doing that. I will bundle them up like I've done with my others. The only exception for me there is Shattered Gods because I sold the rights, so I can't make a bundle. And the books are already really long, so they still sell pretty well on their own. But I will be doing that with these books. And so that's where I think the lion's share of the money for the series is going to come from. The ebooks are already making a profit. They're going to do fine. But it's not going to be a huge profit. And it's not going to be I can quit writing other stuff and just double down on this. It'll be enough to kind of seed the money for the audio. I'll then put out the audio. And the audio should do tremendously well. Typically, I sell a lot more audiobooks these days than I do ebooks. Kindle Unlimited, I'm having a real hard time getting traction with. And I'm almost 100% sure that's a writing to market problem. If I went back to military science fiction, and I probably will next year because I'm interested in it, that does tremendously well still in Kindle Unlimited. And there are genres I can jump into that I will make a lot of money from Kindle Unlimited, but I'm not currently writing them. And I kind of like not being shackled to Kindle. So if you are an existing Kindle author, you know your earnings drop by like 40-50% a month. So if you make $10,000 in month one, you're probably making like, 5 to 6 in month two, and then you're making four the next month, and then maybe two the month after that, and it's just going to keep falling. And that will never ever stop. The money will get less and less and less and less and less and less and less, and then it will eventually dry up entirely unless you constantly feed the beast. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to have to put out 12 books a year every year for the rest of my life. So I'm going to go wide. I'm going to go more into other bookstores, more into utilizing my website, more into guerrilla approaches to finding audiences that are me directly interfacing them with things like influencers, and see how that does. And I'll report back with my findings. Probably the next few videos will be more motivation based because that data does take some time to compile. But so far, the book is doing really well. And the most important part to me is the reviews are good. Not just the reviews that have been posted so far. It's got a 5-star average because it's only got a few reviews. But the reviews, or the emails that I'm getting from people who have read the book, they say they enjoy it. They like how snarky Niche is. They like the overall plot. They like the characters. So that gives me hope that this is going to be a good long-term investment for me in terms of series that I've written. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the writing, and I will see you guys next week.